I did say to Mick, just as we were having a quick chat at the back, I said, you know, days like this you wouldn't miss riding at all. And you said, don't miss it when it's 30 and sunny.
No, I don't. I don't ride much at all. I never rode much on the street anyway. And then, and likewise today, I don't do a great deal. So, in Europe, I live in Europe most of the year, or at least 50% of it. And occasionally, I'll ride the scooter down when it's busy through traffic. But that's about my riding duties these days.
So, what are your memories of coming down to the island? Obviously, being Australian, and you had Wayne, of course, who won in '87. It was fantastic to have him as a forefather, if you like. But then you come out here. What are your memories of coming down the island and being Australia's own on Australia's track?
Look, it was an amazing experience winning here in '98 and securing the world title. I almost had a chance of winning here in '87 and effed up, I guess, with a couple of laps to go. But previously, all the races here in Australia had been at the beginning of the year, so there was no chance of securing a championship in your home country or my home country. So basically, it was good. It was good to come back here, win the race, and win the championship here in front of the family, friends, and fans. So it was fantastic. Excuse me, somebody's typically calling me when it's.
I'd love for that to be. No, just take your call. We're back in a moment. See, this is what you can do when.
No.
When you've got the record that you've got.
It's only the owner of the Pramac team, so I don't know whether he's looking for a rider or...
So you still take the calls?
No. I was going to tell him no. But...
I thought we were going to get an exclusive on the fan forum stage there.
But no, otherwise he normally keeps calling. I was just going to say, I'll call you back. So...
We had some young riders from OJC up on stage before, and they were talking like they're so keen to get out there and get amongst it. One who had an injury, and of course your career probably was bookended by a couple of injuries. One in '92, and of course one in '99. How hard is it to come back from that, get back on the bike, and do everything that you did, and do it at the level that you could do it at?
Yeah, look, as a rider. Or a sports person, whatever, if you're capable of giving it a crack, you generally do. Because we understand, especially riding bikes, you understand that injuries probably most likely going to be part of the platform. So you do everything you can to get back on the bike, and so you put that out of your mind. I think if you understand why you had a crash or why you had an accident, why something happened, then it's easier to sort of put it to the side and just get on with it. But riding around injuries sometimes can lead to more injuries. So it's a fine balance as well. But the young guys, as I say, raining, street tracks, whatever, you just do whatever because you just love it. And I still love bikes now, but I still loved racing when I was. But once you're in this position, you've got a little bit more. You want to risk less. And minimise the downtime for injuries. So, but when you're young, you just want to continue to ride and do whatever you can to reach that goal.
That 94 to 98 period, that's unbelievable, and not just from a MotoGP point of view, but any sports person in any sport hasn't really dominated like you did during that time. What was it like turning up to each track, knowing that you had the confidence, the bike, the team to get the job done? What was that feeling like as a sports person?
I don't know whether it's a feeling, but I knew that I wanted to win the race. So I was doing everything I possibly could physically, mentally, and with the team to make sure that we were prepared the best we could be to go and compete in that race. And I knew every week I had to step that up because the guys I was racing with last week were racing with me and knew what it took to beat me last week. So I needed to keep pushing myself. So that kept me going as well. So just, you're racing against yourself in a way, even though you've got a bunch of competitors on there. But that also inspires more confidence. And then you show up and you're sort of almost invincible. And you see it, today and, before my time as well. So it's a mind game. Everything is a mind game. And it's the same as when I was competing. And that's what keeps you driving forward.
Do you think you're a little bit ahead of your time, though, when it came to diet and to body shape and all those sort of things? You're putting muscle mass on.
What are you saying?
Well, you're still ahead of your time. You still look fit as a fiddle, it must be said.
No.
But before some of those years, you were putting on either putting on muscle or losing weight or looking after your diet, you were doing things maybe that weren't the norm that they are now?
Look, I think the easy answer to that question is that everything's on social media today, so everything is there for everyone to see. I don't know whether I was ahead of my time because there was guys doing it prior to me sort of doing that, but perhaps it was also started to become more evident of what people are doing. But certainly maintaining a weight, because you can't show up 3-5 kilos heavier at the beginning of next year when they built a bike for a guy that's 3-5 kilos lighter, and then likewise all the way through the season. So, and you know, by doing all the physical preparation, you're mentally sort of understanding what you're working towards. So, and I think, you know, you don't need to be an Olympian to ride a bike, any bike, regardless whether it's a MotoGP bike or any other, but it's all the mental prep which goes into it, which is the main thing. But certainly there was guys before me, and now, as you say, it's now everyone's got their whole life and kitchen contents on social media.
You talk about building your bike. You had another Australian, Jeremy Burgess, who you worked with, and we've had him down at the island. We've heard from him before as well. What was it like in those times, just working so closely with another Aussie, knowing it's a worldwide sport dominated, of course, over in Europe? What were those times like?
It was, you know, it was great. JB and I are still good friends, as I am with all the guys that used to be in my team. One, in fact, just retired. He was working another area for me. He's just retired, actually. So he worked from 89 until earlier this year. But look, you know, it's all about the people, and you got to keep the people together. Or, you know, that's why riders say we, because it is a team. You know, it's not I. You know, otherwise they're gonna get pretty pissed off pretty quickly and leave things undone. So you're working, and you're working as a team, and you're working, you know, keeping everyone motivated to get that common goal, which is to ultimately the World Championship. But you've got to win races or be consistent to even have a chance at winning that championship. And so, you know, you need good people, and you need people who have a similar personality around you. Otherwise, there's no point having conflict, or you don't want to show up and work with this guy. So that's why we had a great team. And likewise, when I stopped, then Valentino Rossi inherited all my team, and he retained them for a long while as well, because they were a good group of individuals. And JB was the one who sort of, you know, he was the orchestra of the whole show, and, you know, he could understand what the rider's talking about, being an ex-rider himself, speak to the individual mechanics. There's normally 2 on each bike. And then with the engineers, whether it be the chassis engineer, the suspension engineers, the engine engineers, and back when you had carburetors, the carburetor engineers, and so on and so forth. So that's what it's all about, keeping all the people together and working and keeping everyone motivated to want to win again.
I know you don't want to get out on the bike, but what are you looking forward to over the course of the weekend? Hopefully, of course, a bit of better weather, but regardless of the weather, regardless of what happens down here at the island, what are you looking forward to?
No, absolutely. And, you know, thanks to everyone to come out here, because it's, you know, everyone knows the elements down here. That's one thing you can't change down in Phillip Island. But the layout of this circuit is fantastic. So it does encourage great racing. And so that's what I'm looking forward to, seeing some great racing. We've got the sprint race tomorrow. So that'll be interesting. There's sort of a different style of race versus the one on Sunday, but it's hard unless you can break away at the beginning of the race here. It's going to be a race until that last turn. So that's what I'm looking forward to, seeing how all that plays out. So and then just getting around. Hopefully tomorrow and Sunday are a bit better, and that'll encourage a few more people to come down for the weekend.
And of course, you've got Turn 1, which is named after you as well. It's a bit of an honour to have that.
I've got what?
You got a turn named after you?
Yeah. So I don't know whether that was leaving half of my knee down there at one point, or it was just the circuit owners being polite when I retired, one of the two. But anyway, I'll take it. It's great. So, you know, after Gardner, who won here and won the championship, as you say, in 1987, and then myself, and then you've got Casey Stoner, and now Jack Miller. So. You know, hopefully we can continue to name the corners after future riders.
Let's hope we keep getting lots of Australian riders through. Now, it would be remiss of us to have you here and not speak about young Jack, of course. Your boy is going to be at LB next year. It's an exciting announcement as well. The competitiveness flows in the Doohan blood, it's fair to say.
Yeah, it's a different discipline, but again, it comes back down to the mental application, and he loves the competition side, and whether it be in anything. But I mean, you've got to commit, and he's committed, which is good. And he's found his way into one of the 20 seats which were available in Formula One. But next year is unusual, where there was about 3 or 4 seats up for grabs. So fortunately for him, he was able to secure one. So I'll be sort of sitting there. I won't be at all the races, but I'll certainly be at the first one here at Albert Park, and hopefully a few others. And let's see what happens. But the work begins for the boy.
5-time world champion. A big round of applause, please, for Mick Doohan. AM, great to have you here.